everyone. Thanks for watching Access Hockey MI, all of our friends. It's sunny in Michigan.
It's like 45 degrees.
It's sunny today. So we're going to talk about Moritz Seider. Those don't relate at all.
They totally relate.
He's sunny. We're in sunny weather. Anyway, we're talking about Moritz Seider today. Kind of a prospect update like we did with gushed.What. He was the number 6 draft pick of ours in 2019 for the Detroit Red Wings. He's a very popular subject of discussion amongst Red Wings fans. It's obvious he's a very smart hockey player. So today we're going to do kind of a prospect update. We watch him all the time in these games. We know what we're talking about, guys. So we're trying to get started.
I would like to add in that when we talked about Lindstrom, he got pulled up. So we might be good luck. He has been in the top 10, Seider has, top 10 of rookie defensemen in the AHL all season long. Super encouraging to see that kind of production, especially, getting drafted in 2019, going to training camp, and then starting immediately that season.
He had a lot to prove, though, because there was so much, for some reason, question about Yzerman's decision with drafting a defenseman. What?
Like, why?
How do you question that? Like, I don't. Anyways,
we're upset about that still, and it's February. Anyway, so we're going to go through the biggest qualities about Seider that we noticed, because after, like Janae said, after watching him, we did this video, and we just felt like we fell extremely short with him. So we want to really expound on that. His maturity, first and foremost. Everyone you talk to, and everyone on the team and the coaching staff. Bob Kaiser especially, is the broadcaster, loves Seider for this reason. He conducts himself so well on the ice. He thinks through the game really well. His hockey IQ is just out of this world.
Yeah.
So he can see the plays and exercise them. We'll go into other areas, but overall, his conduct on the ice, when he's on the ice, he's focused. He does not get distracted. It's about the game. It's about his performance, what's happening.
You see it in the little things. The pivoting away from players. His puck handling is exceptional. He's really good at making ahead plays, rushing into the zone, even bringing the puck as far as around the net and then back to the point. Making sure to keep puck possession. That's a very important job of a defenseman. And he's able to keep the puck in the zone to create those plays, to get those scoring opportunities. And that's all coming from his board work. His puck handling, his just defensive ability against grown men, it's very encouraging and it's very high.
Even how he positions his body. Those are things, like, everybody in hockey gets hit. Not everyone knows how to take a hit properly. That's one thing with him. You can tell he can anticipate those things happening and what is going to happen, how he needs to position his body to avoid that and continue play.
He's a very focused player. He's a goofball off the ice. You can see it in the interviews he does with the Griffins. He's a common character in the locker room, but on the ice he's very focused, which is a great thing to have, because you can have the energy. He brings an energy to the team when he's on the ice. It's
not a flippant energy, though.
So that goes into, we were watching, like Rachel said, we did a video about him last week. We didn't launch it. We didn't feel good enough about it. And we were able to see
it was a game day decision.
Yeah. We were able to see a little bit more of his special team impact. So that's power play and penalty kill, which he frequents both of those. And our power play right now is 20.5% accuracy. Our PK is at 82.3 accuracy. So we're doing very well in those categories. And I would say large in part to him too.
Exactly, yeah. And the power play, it did kind of flutter a little bit in the beginning of the season. It was an area of concern.
Yeah.
And we have been seeing his presence a lot more. And there's guys like Tyler Hirose, he's another guy that's been getting a little bit more ice time too recently. Yeah. They're trying to find these pieces and create these lines, especially on the special teams, that communicate well. Their styles communicate well with each other. And
Seider works with just about anybody.
He does.
He can work with any guy on the team, and I think that's because his play, it's very much the same, and it's a good play too. Yeah. It's a consistent play. Yeah. And that brings us to another point, his physicality and his board work, which we mentioned a little bit. He's really good at hitting. Sometimes it can get a little questionable. It's a little high. He's a tall defenseman. He's a tall guy. So sometimes it looks like, that might have been a headshot.
Careful, buddy.
That's one thing that I would say to be careful on, just because you don't want to take needless penalties, and he hasn't taken a lot of penalties this season.
He's got 24 penalty minutes on the season.
Yeah, which is not a ton. But at the same time, his physicality, like Rachel was saying, defending the puck is very important, and he does it very well.
Yep, and with that too, like there's a lot of times, especially defensemen, they hang out on the blue, obviously. He's a little bit more offensive, but even in those instances on the special teams, like we had mentioned before, his physicality comes into huge play with that. Keeping that puck on side and keeping the energy and the guys in the zone is huge for him. And I've seen him just make these he's got a really long reach, and just being able to utilize that and know when to utilize it has been really, really big for him. And it's not always coming from hits or anything like that. So when we say physicality, it doesn't mean he's a brute and he's just going around smashing everybody.
But he can. He's not afraid, and that's a great thing. He's not afraid to get physical, and that's something that I think he needs to grow on as well. Just not like Rachel said, to be a brute.
Right.
But all this kind of goes into another point of controlling the game. We've noticed many times where he makes a certain play to get the face off in a certain spot, and it's just very intentional. That goes with the hockey IQ, and when he's out there, he's controlling plays, controlling the game. He's a trusted defenseman.
He talks a lot with the goaltenders too. I have noticed. He speaks incredibly good English, so that helps. But even like when the whistle blows and everything, I've seen him a lot, especially lately, going to communicate with the goaltender. Just trying to figure out where they're at, where they're going to place the puck. If they win the faceoff, where is that goalie going to direct it if it comes to him? And I think that's huge. It's a big part of controlling the game, because if you don't communicate, especially with a goaltender as a defenseman, you're taking out a very crucial part of your game.
Yeah, because if you're confused in either part of those, there's mistakes that can happen. Sometimes you have to let the goalie get the stop, and other times it's your chance to defend and take that block and not mess up the goalie. That kind of, and that all comes with his hockey IQ, which so far we've been gushing a little bit about him. This is all just fact, though. This is all stuff that we've seen. So some point of improvement, and you've heard it from the brass, the Red Wings brass. They're watching him because he's a very important piece in the development. So we're thinking that his weight, because he's very tall, but he needs to get some meat on his bones. And that comes, again, first-year development. That comes along. We see plenty of guys who have been developing with the Griffins who weren't as fit or as conditioned as they were.
You see the next season, suddenly they just look like trees on skates.
They know what to do. And and the weight is a big deal just because it helps not getting thrown around. It helps defending against the other players, keeping the puck protected.
Well, it gives you so much more power in the legs, too. And that's something that we've even noticed about other players aside from Seider, where they could use a little bit more strength in their legs. And that will come.
Yeah.
And, there is a lot of talk, like, well, if you pull him up, then he'll develop faster. Not always. Muscle structure is very different than your skill set.
We are under the impression he has all this great stuff going for him, but he still has more to learn. He has more to grow, and he's not ready quite yet. He's getting there, though, and I think he will get there quicker than other prospects have in the past, but he's not there quite yet.
Right.
So we want to encourage you to watch him play at the AHL level, see his development where it is now, see how it grows, just because we want you guys to be educated fans, because that's where this kind of desire to learn more about the team comes from.
And you can see it's so important too to understand these prospects and watch their games specifically, because you can see then how it's going to fit into the big picture.
Yes,
Yzerman,
for sure.
I mean, he's been described as having the best poker face out of the entire organization. He does not show his hand, but at the same time, when you see these guys getting more ice time and more attention, especially by the brass, you can put together what that team is going to look like a couple years from now. So it really helps to understand and know what kind of player they are.
It's also, we just love the prospects because it's fun to see where they start, and even more fun to see how much they succeed and how much they help the team. And in this development time of the Red Wings, these prospects are more and more important because they're going to be the future of the Red Wings. So watch them now while you can in Grand Rapids. See where they start, to see what they're doing and the great things that they do are going forward.
Well, it's a playoff push too. You'll see a lot of changes as the playoffs come. Players, they show a different side of themselves, so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like.
So we'll see how the pressure mounts on Moritz Seider. I'm sure he'll be fine. Again, watch him. Let us know in the comments what you think of Moritz Seider. We're sure you love him. But if you don't, let us know in the comments too. I mean, we want to hear everybody's opinion.
Why. Like, if someone doesn't like what they see, I'd want to know why.
What do you think he needs to grow on? If we've missed something, what do you think he is really good at right now that we didn't say? We'd love to hear what you think. And tune in next week to see all of our other stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Bye, guys.